continue. All right. Okay, so we're going to start in a seated position. We're going to work on, we're going to get pretty deep into the hips today. With some nice hip openers and end up in possibly lotus. We'll see how that goes. Oh, who just signed in? Is that? Okay. So just come to a comfortable cross-legged seated position. If you have a pillow or something to sit on, you can sit on that. It helps you to sit a little bit taller because ideally you want your knees just below your hips. So depending on your flexibility. Hi guys who just signed in. Good. And then sitting nice and tall, draw the shoulders back and down. And let the eyes close. So again, we'll be getting into the hips a little bit today and just a little quick yoga mind-body connection. So as humans, we hold on to our emotions in our body and in our muscles. So according to yoga philosophy, we hold any immediate stressors we hold in our shoulders and our neck. And if we don't deal with those stressors, it gets pushed down. So then it gets pushed down into the heart area. It slowly moves down the body. And then according to yoga, if we don't deal with all those emotions and pains in the heart, right, because it's hurtful, it's sad to us, we push them away. So we push them down further into the hips. So all of our deep stuff and emotions and baggage, according to yoga, settles in our hips. So that's why they're generally a little tighter to stretch and, maybe not the most pleasant to open up. And a little tough, right? Because that's all our stuff from like childhood, like deep stuff. So we're going to work into that a little bit today. From here, take the hands together. Reach the arms up. And then hook the thumbs. And then find a little gentle like tug of war between the thumbs as you spread the fingertips out. And then slightly reach up and back, gazing up. Breathe here. And then as you exhale, sweep the arms down alongside you and then back to the center of the heart. Good. Inhale, reaching up again. Now hook the thumbs the opposite way. Little tug of war between the thumbs. Spread the fingertips out. Engage the arms. Now start to lift up and back. Gaze up if it's comfortable. Good. Then as you exhale, sweep the arms down and then just let the hands rest on the thighs. Let the eyes close. And start to draw your attention to your breath. A popular Zen story tells of a disciple who embarks on a long journey in search of a master teacher. When the teacher finally appears, the student becomes excited and begins to ask many questions, hoping to gain wisdom. Eager to have her questions answered, the student persists, but the teacher refuses to answer directly. Instead, she requests that the student pour a cup of tea. The teacher tells the student to keep pouring until instructed to stop. The student pours, the master says nothing. The cup begins to overflow, and still the master remains silent. Upset, the student exclaims, "Master, look at this cup of tea. It's full and overflowing." The master replies, "Yes, just as your mind is already full. None of this teaching will benefit until you empty your cup." The disciple learned the first lesson of spiritual teaching, to be empty of preconceptions and receptive to new knowledge. So connecting that thought of emptying the cup of our mind to be able to move forward and fill it with new things, and attaching that to our hips, right? So we're going to kind of try to get some baggage out of our hips so that we have room for new growth, for positive emotions, and anything else that we need to replace anything negative with. Take a couple breaths here. And gently blinking the eyes open. From here, we'll extend the left leg in front of you. And keeping the right knee bent, take the hands behind the right, or to the side of the right calf. Flex your foot, and you're just going to circle that knee around a little bit. This is option one. If you're able to, see if you can take the right foot all the way to the inside of the left elbow crease, and then you kind of cradle it like a baby, depending on how the hips are feeling this morning, right? So option one is just to bring the hands maybe to the ankle even, the outside of that right ankle. Keep your foot nice and flexed because it's going to protect that knee. And just circle around that hip, that thigh bone and that hip socket. Sit nice and tall. Good, and then we're going to slowly place the right ankle just above the left knee. And move nice and slow. I know it's probably our first hamstring and hip opener. Walking the hands forward, just very slowly. Keeping your right foot flexed again, so the right foot is just above the left knee, left leg is straight. Walk the hands forward and reach your chest toward the toes. And actually come up onto the tips of your fingers, kind of like gecko hands. And start to like claw at the ground or the floor to draw the shoulders back and down and reach the chest toward the toes. So it just brings a little more energetic action to the arms. And then allowing you to send that chest forward without taking the shoulders up to the ears. Good, couple breaths here. Good, slowly walk the hands back in. Straighten that right leg. And then bending the left knee, so same thing on the opposite side. So we either take the hands to the outer edge of the calf or the left ankle, keeping your foot nice and flexed. And making circles, right? Or if you're able to, take the left foot all the way to the inner right elbow crease and wrap the left arm around and kind of hug it like a baby. So you want to draw that leg in as close to your chest as you can, as your flexibility allows. Sitting nice and tall. Good, couple more breaths here. Good, and placing the left ankle to just above the right knee, and again, keeping the left ankle flexed. Move very slowly, could be the first stretch of the day, first hip and hamstring stretch. So start to walk your hands forward, come on to the tips of your fingers, like those little gecko hands. And with the tips of your fingers, draw back on the ground to draw the shoulders back and down, and then send the chest toward the toes. Take some breaths here. Good. Slowly walk the fingertips back in, releasing the left leg down. If you are sitting up on a pillow, you can slide that out of the way. And just bend the knees, taking the feet to the ground, about shoulder width apart, and then just windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Bring the arms behind you. Just nice and slow. Start to move those hips around. Good, and then from here we'll come to a tabletop position. Bringing the wrist under the shoulders, knees under hips, tucking the toes, spread the fingers out well. And then start to move and warm up the spine through some just basic cat-cow. So moving with your breath. As you inhale, drop the belly, arch the back, gaze up. And then as you exhale, drop the head, round the back, gaze toward your belly, push the mat away. Good, inhale, reach the chest forward and up, lift the tailbone, look up. And then exhale, nice big round, press your hands into the mat, push the mat away. Good, then continue this at your own pace. Linking the movement with the breath, right? Our vinyasa means moving with breath. And that's how we ultimately find our mind-body connection, connecting these movements with our breath. And the next few moments, feel free to just move around in this position. Maybe you're not just moving up and down. Maybe you take a side bend. Maybe you reach the hips back. So just kind of move or wiggle in whatever way you kind of need to move into. If there's like a little tight spot, maybe you try to press into that tight spot somewhere. Now just observe how your body's feeling. So I know a couple of you guys said you're sore. So notice what's sore, right? And without judgment, just being aware of how your body feels. Good. Coming back to a neutral spine. Place the hands a couple inches ahead of right where they are. Draw the navel in. And then as you exhale, lower down to your bellies, keeping the elbows hugged in through a modified chaturanga. Point the toes, press the tops of the feet down, reach the toes back. And then slide the hands off of your mat, coming back into these gecko hands on the tips of the fingers. Elbows lift up. Now press the fingertips down into the mat or the floor. Lift the chest. Draw the shoulders back and down. Keep the neck in line with the spine and breathe. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Slide the hands back alongside the ribs and press back to a wide-legged child's pose. So take this child's pose a little wider than you normally would. Bring the hips back to the heels. And same action with the hands. So I want to keep this like gecko action with the hands to help keep the arms a little engaged. So come onto the tips of the fingers. Now with the tips of the fingers, press them forward to reach the hips back. And now that the hips are back, start to drag the fingertips back towards you to draw the shoulders down the back and reach the heart forward. Triceps are engaged. Your head may or may not be down on the mat. It's okay. Take some breaths. Good. Flatten the palms down. As you inhale, come back up to tabletop position. Tucking the toes, and again, we'll have the wrist a couple inches ahead of the shoulders here to set up for a down dog. Tucking the toes, press down through the palms, rotate the elbow creases forward, draw the belly in, and come into a really bent knee version of down dog. Good. Hands are rooted down, triceps are hugging into the bone, and as you press the hands down, press your hips further toward the back of the room, like you could press your hips away from your bottom ribs. And then from here, don't straighten both legs at the same time, but just start to pedal the feet before we come into that full version of down dog. Shaking out the head a little bit here. Shake it out, yes. Shake it out, no. Good, and then bending both knees. Slowly float the knees back down to the mat as you shift the hips forward. Draw the belly into the spine. One more modified chaturanga. Lower down to your bellies. Point the toes. This time, keep the hands where they are. Hug the elbows together behind you. Inhale, lifting up to baby cobra. Breathing here. Keep the back of the neck in line with the spine. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes. Pressing back to a bent knee down dog. Still bending the knees. Focus on the upper body first, so press the hands down, rotate the elbow creases forward, hug the triceps in, reach your hips back, take an inhale, and then exhale, slowly straighten both legs, nice and slow, take your time. Go ahead and settle into this pose without wiggling around this time, so just find a more static version. Good, try to reach the heels down. Inner thighs spin toward the back of the room. So feet should be about hip width apart here, maybe a touch wider. Good, breathing here. Observe how you feel. Notice what's tight. Notice what feels good. And then very slowly and mindfully, like it's a little moving meditation, start to, walking meditation, start to tiptoe your feet towards your hands. Slowly and mindfully. Bend the knees as you need to, as you get closer to your hands. And then once you're there, Feet come as wide as your mat. Nice bend to the knees. Hang on to opposite elbows and just sway from side to side. And when you're here, totally let go of the weight of your upper body. Just let it hang. Release the back of the neck, let the head be heavy. And then just switch the grip on your elbows and take a couple rocks in that opposite grip. Good. Release the elbows. Start to heel toe your feet so that they're together. And with a bend to the knee, roll up nice and slow. Again, heavy head, heavy arms, heavy shoulders. Let your head be the last thing that comes up. Into Tadasana, your mountain pose. Face the hands forward. Root down through the feet and stand a little taller. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Pressing down through the feet, inhale, reach the arms out, around and up. Exhale with a long spine, forward fold. Inhaling up to a flat back. Exhale, lower the hands, stepping back to plank pose. Now, you're welcome to take the modified chaturanga version throughout the class. If you're ready for full chaturanga, knees stay up, shift the shoulders forward, bend the elbows halfway so your body never touches the ground, and then extend the arms. Press up into upward facing dog. Thighs are lifted, kneecaps are lifted. And exhale, roll over the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good, take a few breaths there. Remember, your yoga practice is catered to you. So if you feel a little less energetic today, you can even skip the vinyasa part, or you can always lower the knees. Right? If you feel like working harder, you can keep that full version of that vinyasa. Take a couple breaths here. And then bring the big toes to touch. Come all the way up onto your tippy toes. Bend the knees, pull the belly in, look between your hands, and hop or step as far as you get to the front of your mat. Walk your feet there if you didn't quite make it. Inhaling up to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Press down to the feet, come all the way up to stand, reach the arms out, around and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good, pressing down, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, long spine, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, lower the hands, step to plank. If you practice jumping back to chaturanga, go for it. Knees, elbows stay in regardless. Exhale, lower down. Inhale lifts you up to your back bend. It could be a baby cobra. Exhale, pull the belly in, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. Good, palms spread well. Tricep tugging into the bone, elbow creases rotating forward. Take an inhale, lift the right leg up behind you and open the hip. Bend the knee and try to reach the heel behind you. But notice what happens to the shoulders. So if your shoulders have shifted, kind of reposition them so they're square toward the front of the mat. So you almost want to think about reaching your right shoulder towards your left toes here. And just circle that knee out a little bit. Good, breathe in here. And then as you exhale, straighten the leg, step it between the hands. Lower the back knee. Hook the thumbs, reach up for Anjaneyasana. Draw the navel in, press the hips forward, and find again that little tug of war between the thumbs, which really helps to activate the arms, fingertips, triceps. So we're reaching up like we mean it here. Maybe we reach up and back a little bit. Breathe. On your next exhale, lower the hands down to the inside of the right foot. Now keeping the foot flexed, you can scoot your back knee back just a touch. You're going to roll to the outer edge of the right foot. So I'll turn to face you. Right, so the foot is really flexed. I'm not sickling my ankle. My ankle's not rolling in. So I want you to keep a nice flex to that foot. It's going to help protect the knee. And then we can maybe walk the elbows or move the elbows down any amount if possible. If you have that cushion or a block or books, you can maybe press your elbows into that. You have a nice, super flexed right foot. You should be on the outer blade of that right foot. Good, breathing there. Awesome. Back knees down for now. Good, slowly press back up to the hands. Right foot comes flat on the floor, left hand stays where it is. Inhale, right arm comes up for a twist. Drawing the right side of the rib cage back and gazing up toward the right fingertips. Good, take some breaths. Good, as you exhale, lower the right hand back down to the outside of the right foot, lifting the back knee. Take an inhale. And now exhale, straighten that right leg as best you can and hold. Maybe it's not completely straight. If you do have blocks, you can place your hands on blocks. Hips are square forward, so try to plug that right hip crease back. Chest is reaching toward the toes. Shoulders are away from the ears. So we're more like a wide leg pyramid around the back toes. Good, one more inhale. Exhale, bend the right knee, stepping back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend, baby cobra or up dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. On your next inhale, left leg lifts up behind you. Now be aware of what the shoulders are doing here as you bend the left knee and reach the left foot behind you. Try not to shift your shoulders. So think about taking your left shoulder towards your right toes to keep the shoulders square, and then just circle out that hip any amount. Good. Re-straighten that leg, look between the hands, and as you exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Lower the back knee. Take the opposite hook of the thumb. So if you don't remember, it's probably the way that just feels weird because we are creatures of habit and always do things the same way. Reach the arms up, press the hips forward. Right, that tug of war between the thumbs energizes the fingertips and brings some engagement into the triceps. Maybe you gaze up and look back. Good, deep breaths. As you exhale, bring both hands to the inside of the left foot. Scooting that back knee maybe back about an inch. Super flex to that left foot, and then take the left knee out to the side. So you're on the outer edge of that left foot. The ankle is very engaged, the foot is very flexed. And from here, maybe we choose to lower down a little bit, or maybe we just bend the elbows a little bit, or maybe we bring the elbows onto a pillow or blocks if we have it, or books. Good, guys, breathing here, or ladies. All right, notice if one side's maybe a little tighter. Usually, yes, we have a looser side, tighter side, so just be aware. Baby steps towards emptying the cup of our emotions in our hips here. Good, press back to the bottoms of your hands, bring the left foot back to the mat. Right hand stays where it is. Inhale, left arm reaches up for a twist. Draw the left side of the rib cage back, gaze up. Breathe here. Shoulders draw away from the ears, face is relaxed. Take one more in-breath. Exhale, float the left hand to the outside of the left foot. And then as you inhale, slowly bring that left leg towards straight. It might not be completely straight, that's okay. Just hold wherever it is. Plug the left hip crease back so the hips stay square forward. Shoulders move away from the ears and chest reaches toward the toes. Fill the shape with your breath. One more inhale here. And on your exhale, try to do everything on your exhale. Bend the left knee, stepping back to plank, lower chaturanga. And then inhale into your back bend, up dog or baby cobra. Pull the belly in, so move with your navel and your core as you lift the hips up and back to down dog. Beautiful, guys. Couple breaths there. Palms spread well. Triceps hug into the bone. Elbow creases rotate forward. Press your hips away and reach the heels down. Good. Now bring the big toes to touch. Come all the way up onto your tippy toes. Bend the knees. Look between the hands. Pull your belly in and step or hop all the way to the front of the mat. Inhaling up to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Press down to the feet. Come all the way up to stand. Reach the arms out, around and up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Close the eyes for a moment and just take a couple breaths and observe how your body feels. Observe the temperature, observe the pace of the breath, and observe the thoughts in the mind. Good. Gently blink the eyes open. As you inhale, coming into chair pose, bend the knees, drop the seat, reach the arms up. Bring the big toes to touch and make sure you can see your heels. And then from here, take the hands to prayer. And maybe with the help of your hands, or if you can just step your right foot up. So press into the left foot. We're going to take the right ankle to the top of the left knee. Again, if you need your hand to bring it there, go ahead. Really flexing that right foot. Remember, we're working with that action to protect that knee joint. Left leg is bent, hands come to heart. And you can sink as low as you can here, depending on how the hips feel. If you want to go a little bit further, you can take a twist, just an option. The right elbow comes to the inside of that right foot, and the left palm presses into the right to rotate the chest to the left. Good. If you did take that twist, release. Float that right foot back down to the mat, still in chair pose with the hands to heart center. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms up. Exhale, long spine, forward fold. Inhaling up to a flat back. Exhale, fold. And we'll come back up to stand from here. So press down to the feet. Inhale, reach the arms out, around and up. And exhale to chair pose. Bend the knees, drop the seat back. Make sure you can see your big toes. And then bring the palms to touch and draw the hands to the center of the heart. Pressing into that right foot. If you can do it without the help of your hands, great. But if you need the help of your hands, just use your hands to bring the left ankle to the top of that right knee. Left foot super flexed, super flexed. And then you could bend the right knee as much as your hip allows. And an option to take that twist, you could stay right here or take the left elbow to the inner left foot. Press the right palm into the left, rotate the chest to the right. Good. If you did take that twist, release. And everybody lower the left foot back down into chair. Press through the legs, straighten them out, reach the arms up, take an inhale. Exhale, long spine, forward fold. Inhaling up to a flat back. Exhale, lower the hands, stepping back to plank or jumping back to chaturanga. Lower down, elbows hugged in, belly tight. Inhale, straighten the arms, roll the shoulders back and down, lift the heart. Exhale, pull the belly in, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. As As you inhale, lift the right leg up into the air behind you. And exhale, step it between the hands. Back knee stays lifted this time. Inhale, reach the arms up, hooking the thumbs. Draw the navel in. Slight bend to the back knee so you can tilt the pelvis back and pull the belly in. And find that little tug of war between the thumbs to send energy up through the arms, through the fingertips. Maybe we reach back and gaze up. Deep breaths. One more inhale. Good. Exhale, hands come to the inside of the right foot once again. This time, keeping the back knee lifted if you can. And again, if you're in the mood for something a little less intense, you can lower that back knee. But we'll take the same action with that front foot. So flexing the front knee. Front foot a lot. Rotate to the outer edge of that right foot. And then with the back knee lifted this time, maybe we lower down again, coming into a much more energizing version of lizard as opposed to having that back knee down. Right, but really flexing that right foot. So I don't want that ankle rolling. Good, deep breaths. Again, there's always the option to lower that back knee or take that more energizing version by keeping that knee up. Good, breathe there. And then slowly pressing up to the bottoms of the hands. Back knee lifts, left hand stays where it is. Inhale, right arm up for a twist, and we'll just take a little variation here of a half bind. So flip the right palm behind you, wrap the right arm behind your back, and all the way around the left side of the waist like you can reach it towards your belly button, and then draw the right shoulder and the right rib cage back, gaze up. Beautiful, guys. Breathe there. Looks good. Good. As you inhale, unwrap that arm, reach it back up. Exhale, lower the right hand to the outside of the right foot. From here, you're going to step your back foot in a little bit and lower the heel. And then straightening that front leg. So our feet are going to be a little bit closer in that pyramid pose now. Left toes are going to point to the upper left-hand corner of the mat. Both legs are straight. Inhale, lengthening the spine. And then exhale, fold forward any amount. If you needed to bend that front knee, you can. If you have blocks, you can place your hands on blocks. If your fingertips make it to the mat, you can walk your fingertips forward a little bit, back into those gecko hands, so you're staying on the pads of the fingertips. Lengthen the sides of the waist, and then draw back with the fingertips to send the heart forward. Good. Plug that right hip crease back. Take one more inhale. Exhale, rebend the right knee. Try to keep it all in the exhale. Step back, lower down, chaturanga. Breathe into your back bend, upward facing or baby cobra. With an engaged belly, pull the belly in, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Beautiful, ladies. Take a couple breaths. Now inhaling, left leg lifts up into the air behind you. Exhale, step it between the hands. Inhale, reaching the arms up, hooking the thumbs the opposite way so the weight feels a little weird. Slight bend to that back knee in order to tuck the tailbone down and pull the belly in. Tug of war between the thumbs to energize the fingertips. Hug the triceps into the upper arm bones. And then maybe reach up and back, gaze up. Breathe here, relax the face. Good. Exhale, lower the hands down to the inside of the left foot. Keeping the back knee lifted right now is an option to make it a little more of an energizing pose. Super, super flex to that left foot and ankle. Roll to the outer edge of that left foot. Lower down as you can, maybe to the forearms, maybe to a pillow, maybe to blocks. And take some breaths. Empty that the cup of your hips that holds on to all those emotions. So breathe them out, making room for new energies, for positive qualities, for new beginnings. Let the breath take you there and release all that deep stuff in that hips. Couple of breaths. Slowly press up to the bottoms of the hands. Bring the bottom of the left foot back to the mat. Plant your right hand exactly where it is. Inhale, left arm reaches up for a twist. That back leg is straight here, and we'll take that half bind option with the top arm. So flip the left arm to face behind you and wrap it behind your back all the way to the right side of the waist, like you can reach it around towards your belly button. Good, then draw the left shoulder back, draw the left rib cage back, gaze up. Beautiful, ladies. Take some deep breaths. Good, as you inhale, unwrap that arm, reach it back up. Exhale, left hand to the outside of the left foot. Step your back foot in a little bit so you can lower the heel down and bring the right toes so that they're pointed toward the upper right-hand corner of the mat. And then as you exhale, start to straighten that left leg. So you might notice you'll be able to come a little more straighter here with the feet a little bit closer together. Plug the left hip crease back. Hands on blocks if you have them, or books. If you're able to touch the ground, come onto the tips of the fingers and maybe walk them forward. And then pull back with the fingertips to reach the chest towards your toes, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Good, breathing here. One more inhale. All on your exhale, bend the knee, step back to plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhaling to upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Hold here. If you need a couple breaths in child's pose, you can, but if you're feeling good, just stay here in down dog. Beautiful, ladies. Breathe wherever you're at. Remember, it's your practice, so you take whatever options and variations that you need. Good. Inhale, lift the right leg up into the air behind you. And as you exhale, step the right foot between your hands. Spin the left heel down. Set up for warrior two. Reach your left arm forward, up, and then towards the back of the room. And then from here, straighten your right leg and reach the arms up overhead so your body faces the side, long edge of your mat. Keep reaching your fingertips up, and then bend that right knee back into warrior two knee, but press it out toward your pinky toe. Good. Keep your gaze to the long edge of your mat. Float the hands down. And then don't change anything except look over your right fingertips. Good. Breathing here. Inhale, straighten the left leg, setting up for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Keeping the leg straight, exhale, reach across the room as far as you can, and then lower your hand to the shin, ankle block, or the mat. Reaching the left fingertips up. Good, pressing down through the feet. If you want to work a little bit harder here, we can float that right arm up alongside the ear. And then we can reach the left arm along the left side of the ear here too. If you do this, draw the left side of the rib cage back. And just an option if you want to kick it up a little bit. Everyone's drawing the left shoulder back, left side of the rib cage back. Good, pressing up to stand. And take the hands to your hips and turning the feet, the toes to face the long edge of the mat. So bring the feet to parallel. The hands on the hips, hug the elbows together behind you. Squeeze the elbows together. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, hinging forward at the hips. As you do this, keep some weight in your toes. And then once you're there, slowly release the hands and place them down on the mat as wide as your shoulders. Remember, keep some weight in the toes. And then start to walk your fingertips back. If you can, all 10 fingers and all 10 toes align. Elbows stay in line with the shoulders. Crown of the head reaches down. Good. Slowly walk the hands back out so that they're underneath the shoulders. First, take the hands to your hips. Squeeze the elbows together behind you. Press down through the feet and come up with a nice flat back. Turn the right toes to face the front of the mat. Arms out to the side. Exhale, warrior two. Flip the right palm just for a breath. Inhale, reach up and back. Peaceful warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Choose a vinyasa or maybe down dog or maybe child's pose. Totally up to you. Moving with the breath. Good, holding there. One more side to go. And then we'll really move into those hips. Inhale, lifting the left leg up into the air behind you. Exhale, step it between your hands. Spin the right heel down, warrior two. Right arm reaches forward, up, and then to the back of the room. And then straighten the left leg, reach your arms up, and turn your gaze and your shoulders toward the long edge of your mat. Good, reach up through the fingertips. Keep the torso and your gaze facing the long edge of your mat, and then just bend the left knee, but press it toward the pinky toe side of the foot as you bend it. Good, keep looking toward the side. Slowly lower your arms down to the side. And without changing anything about your body, just change your head, your gaze to look over the middle finger of that left hand. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Good, inhale, pressing that left leg straight. Exhale, hinging at the hip, reaching across the room till you can't reach anymore. And then lower your hand down to the shin, ankle, block, or the mat. Right arm reaches up for Trikonasana, triangle pose. And you get a couple options to work a little harder if that's how you're feeling. Left arm reaches across the opposite side of the room. And then maybe the right arm comes alongside the ear and the arms frame the head. Either way, the right shoulder and the right rib cage are drawing back. Gaze up if it's comfortable. Good, press down through the feet. Inhale to bring yourself back up to stand. Exhale just for a breath, warrior two. Inhale, flip and reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Take a vinyasa. Press just to down dog or press to child's pose. Totally up to you guys. Whatever your practice is calling for today. Good. Awesome, guys. And then we'll all float the knees down and come to child's pose together for a couple breaths. And you could just take a relaxed child's pose, so not as energetic as we did in the beginning. Let the arms bend. And then walk the hands into the knees to bring yourself up to sit. And shift onto your hips, just sit. So you can sit with the legs straight. Now we'll come into fire log pose. So we worked on a little bit of that action in the very beginning, and we worked a lot with keeping the feet flexed, and we did a ton of hip openers. So we should feel pretty good coming into this pose, and I'll show you guys some variations as well. So bending the right knee. We're going to start off just as we did in the very beginning. So taking the right ankle to the top of the left knee. Now from here, you're going to shift onto the left hip and bend the left knee. So the shins should be parallel toward the front edge of your mat. And you want your ankles and your knees stacked. So this is fire log or double pigeon. And our goal is to get to close this gap here with the knee, right? So we all might be in a different spot. If you have that pillow or anything, you can prop your knee up there. But super flex to the feet, what we've been working on through this class, keeping those feet nice and flexed. Again, eventually trying to work to close that gap. Maybe we prop it up here. And then from here, you can take your thumbs to your hip creases and just press down and maybe hinge forward any amount. So just go wherever you are. I mean, everyone's going to be different. Everyone's hips are different. If you're fine just standing up, putting a little pressure on, or sitting up, just putting a little pressure on your hips, maybe that's where you need to be. But remember, the shin should be parallel to the front of your mat, because if you bend the knees too much, it kind of takes away from that pose, right? Ankles stacked on the knee. Good. And this is a tough pose, guys, so breathe. Good. I'm working on those deep emotions, buried deep in the hips. That's why these are tough. All right, but we got to empty that cup of negative emotions before we can replace it with positive ones, right? So breathe it out. Slowly coming back up. And just to neutralize before we go to the other side, we'll take a straight leg forward fold or Dandasana, so straighten the legs. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hinging forward. Bring the fingertips to the sides of the legs. We'll stay with those little gecko hands, top pads of the fingertips, and then isometrically pull back on the fingertips to draw the shoulders back and down, and then send the heart forward. Good, slowly come on up. Do a time check. Okay. Coming into the other side, so we'll set up very beginning, how we did of class, and we'll move forward from there. Left ankle comes to just above the right knee. Feet are super flexed, right? We're protecting our knees, so keeping those feet nice and flexed. Now shift to the right hip to bend the right knee. Shins are parallel toward the front edge of your mat. Ankle is on top of the knee, knee is on top of the ankle. Make sure you don't bend the knees too much. All right, if you have a space there, maybe prop it up with your pillow. Super flex to the feet. Don't let go of that engagement of the feet. And then again, once you've found your position, take your thumbs to the hip creases. So the thumbs are in and your fingertips on the outside of your hips. Press down. And then maybe hinge forward. Or maybe you're just sitting straight up, wherever you need to be. Take deep breaths. Keep the feet really flexed. Relax your face, deep breaths. Let go with your exhales. Good, slowly come on up. Nice and slowly uncross the legs. And this time to neutralize, we'll come into a wide leg forward fold. So take your feet, straighten your legs. Take them in a wide position. And keep the feet flexed here again. Pull your toes back in towards you. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinging forward. Give me those gecko hands on the tips of the fingers. Right, and then pull back with the tips of your fingers to draw the shoulders back and send the heart forward. If you feel too much tension in the inner knees here, take your feet a little closer together. Good, couple breaths. Slowly walk the fingertips back in. Good, drawing the legs together. So one more grand finale pose, either coming into half lotus, or maybe we'll play a full lotus. I'm gonna come a little closer to the camera. So this time bending the right knee and take the right knee out to the side. And this time you're gonna point the foot. So what you can do here is you can kind of move your calf out of the way. So place your hand in there and like move your calf forward. So you can bend the knee a little bit more. And we're gonna try to bring the right foot all the way to the left hip crease. Nice, you can move that calf muscle out of the way. Use your hands to get it there. Now only go as far as you can go. Maybe we're gonna stay here and take a forward fold. Maybe we're gonna try for a full lotus. So from there, or almost full lotus, so your next modification is roll to the left hip, and then just bend the left knee and tuck it underneath your right hip, right? So next option is just bend the knee, foot is underneath the hip. For a full lotus, this foot is gonna come on top. So don't force it, right? If it's there, go for it. If not, don't. Right, so this foot can be underneath, maybe it's on top, just be where you need to be. And we'll do that same action with the hands on the hips, press down into the hips, and send forward. So again, I'll go over them again, we could just be here with the legs straight. Left leg could be underneath the right, or left foot comes on top of the right. Don't force it, just go where you need to be and breathe. Go a couple more breaths wherever you are. Slowly release up and use your hands to unwind your legs. So nice and slow, nice and slow. Good. From here to neutralize, we'll come back on the elbows and just windshield wiper the knees. And then one more side. Remember, both sides are different, so you might be coming into a different version on this next side. Good, coming back up to sit. I'm bending the left knee, right? And take your hand and kind of move your calf flesh out of the way so you can get a deeper bend to that knee. So you kind of lift it up and out. Left knee, right? We're on the left foot, bends, and you want to try to take your left foot all the way to the right hip crease. Again, don't force this pose. Just be where you need to be. This is step one. Right leg is going to be straight, and you're going to hinge forward. All right, step two is you're going to shift to the right hip. The right knee is just going to bend, and it's going to stay underneath the left leg. And then you're going to come forward. All right, step three is full lotus. Don't force it. The leg is going to come on top. Right, we did a lot of openers, so maybe you just kind of slide into this pose and surprise yourself. If not, just, again, be where you need to be in that pose. Right, the final version. Step two is the leg underneath. Step one was a straight leg. All right, so wherever you are, bring those thumbs back into the creases of the hips. Gently press down, maybe come forward a little bit. Good, ladies, breathe wherever you are. Exhale to release, let go. Releasing tension deep in those hips, releasing all the stored emotions and negative energies that we hold down there. Let that go with your breath. All right, slowly release. Use your hands to uncross your legs. Take your time. Don't just pop yourself out of it. And then to neutralize, we'll come back on our, we'll lie on our backs and take the same windshield wiper motion with the knees. Good, bring the legs back to center. Bring the bottoms of the feet pretty close to your butt, setting up for a bridge pose. Bend the elbows and press the triceps into the mat. Now press the feet down, lift the hips. Keep pressing the triceps down into the mat. Keep the knees in line with the hips, and then straighten the arms. Maybe you interlace the fingers underneath, and maybe you rock your shoulders, or you tuck your shoulders underneath your rib cage. Good. Press the feet down, press the triceps down, lift the chest toward the chin, but keep the neck and the neck in neutral. Good. Exhale, slowly release. Taking the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. And then releasing the left leg down to the mat. Let's take a twist here to finish up. Taking the right knee all the way over to the left, stack the hips. You can take your left hand to that outer right knee to give yourself a little more of an adjustment into that twist. And maybe you gaze over your right shoulder to fully involve the cervical spine in that twist as well. Relax your muscles and just let your body kind of fall into this twisting position, letting go of gravity. Good. Coming back to center, switching sides, straighten the right leg. Take the left knee in. And then bring that left knee over to the right, stacking the hips. Maybe the right hand comes to that left knee, left arm out to the side. Maybe you gaze over to the left. And releasing back to center. Knees back into the chest one more time. Give yourself a hug, arms around the shins. Rock side to side. And then releasing the legs, setting yourself up for Shavasana. If you do have that pillow, you can place it underneath your knees. Take any adjustments that you need to. Widen the feet. Take the arms wider. Maybe you even put socks or a shirt on here as your body might cool off. If you have something to place over your eyes, a towel or the sleeve of a shirt, you can do that. And again, take a couple seconds to adjust, and then you're going to want to resist the urge to fidget. So make sure you're comfortable so that you can stay there and be comfortable and not want to move around. And completely letting gravity take over here. So all of the hard work of holding yourself up, just let it go. Draw attention to the back of the body as it rests on the ground. And just let your body sink into the ground beneath you. Let the muscles feel heavy. And let the bones feel heavy. Soften the muscles of the face. And keep your attention drawn to your breath. Slowly start to deepen your breath. And slowly bring movement back to the fingers and the toes. Slowly circle around the ankles and the wrists. And slowly rock the head from side to side. Take any movements or stretches that you need to reawaken. And as you're ready, bend the knees and roll all the way onto the right side. Rest your head on your bottom arm. And then using your left hand to slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seat and taking the hands together to meet at the center of the heart. And we'll close with an Om. Inhale. Om. The light within me sees and honors the same light within each of you. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.